What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Refinement. Today I want to talk about 99 problems that I have, and every single one is reseller related. I'm just going to walk through one of my warehouses and talk to you guys about all these things that go wrong. But ultimately, I'm going to be fine. You're going to be fine. All these things that you're going through at home are all just temporary. I put out probably 3 to 5 fires per day. I'm going to go over what some of those are like, and I just want to tell you that everybody's way more resilient than they think, and you're just going to be able to overcome it. Number one, boxes are insane. So many boxes roll through here. There's a lot of dust that boxes produce, so we always need to sweep pretty much every single day. We also use ventilation and we use fans and air purifiers to try to get rid of the dust. It can also be dangerous. It can cut you. So everyone that works here that processes boxes uses gloves. It's very, very, very dusty and dirty. Sometimes inventory is 20, 30 years old, and that dust can be like half an inch thick. Really insane. Also, when you break all these down, that takes extra time. Then you have to palletize them or bundle them and send them to a cardboard recycler, which costs about the same as somebody taking it over there. You guys see those trucks with cardboard packed all the way to the top. Those guys are making like $5 an hour doing cardboard. It's just one of those jobs that people have all these relationships, and maybe you go to somebody's yard and you sweep for them and take the cardboard. They actually get paid to take the cardboard to the cardboard recycler. They're not getting money from the actual cardboard. I know, because I'm doing the same. I don't make enough money from the cardboard recycling to pay for even the driver that takes it over there. Over here, Gaylords are hard to get. These are really expensive. Gaylords like this one cost up to $80 per box. Companies provide this. This is from the company Stitch Fix. They bought them from Uline, which is crazy expensive. They also came with these reinforcing walls. And this is so if they bump into other Gaylords in the truck, they don't damage the goods that are inside. In my opinion, these are totally unnecessary for clothing. Just having regular Gaylord boxes is fine. The post office does provide them if you ship by the pallet, but they don't guarantee that they will have them. So sometimes the post office doesn't have any boxes and they don't have any plastic pallets. And these are the plastic pallets that are from the post office, and these are the wood ones. So when we run out, we actually have to use the wood ones. And for the post office, it causes a problem with them because they need to deal with recycling pallets, which is also a problem of mine. Recycling pallets right now, they're going for about $1 a piece. It's a horrible business. Same situation. Companies are paying to get rid of the pallets. The drivers go over there and make a couple of bucks. Maybe it's just as their tip. Inventory comes in. A lot of it is damaged when it arrives because it's not packed properly. These are really, really super heavy cosmetics. They were packed in properly. The pallets all fell apart in the truck. I'll put a screenshot of what it looked like in the truck right here. It was such a disaster unpacking these. Each one of these pallets weighed over 2,000 pounds, which is a ton, literally 1 ton of stuff. And all of these crashed over, and we had to manually load them onto the pallets. And I used to do that all by myself. Now I have 2 warehouse people that help me with that, but it took them 12 hours yesterday to unpack 4 trucks because of this kind of situation. And because it's already happened to me so many times, not that surprising. I like to sort everything by how I'm going to sell it, and this is really important. If all your things go up the same way, there would not be any reason to sort. But for me, since I sort by size, everything gets sorted by size and then re-sorted into that specific area. So small, medium, large, extra large will all have their own different section. I like to sort here, create different packages for different types of customers. Different kinds of customers need different kinds of needs. I have my shipping table, or one of many. Underneath it, I just have the particular bags that we use. I have now changed everything to just like the minimal that it requires. So really all we need for shipping here is a tape gun to reinforce any bags that are too full, but we rarely use that. I don't even stock tape here because we rarely use that. And then bags to organize the different packages that we're making, the bundles that customers are looking for. And I only use 1 size bag, so that's been saving a tremendous amount of time. But stocking, ordering is also difficult. So like once a week, once every couple of days, you should double check and make sure you don't run out of supplies, because bags are like 1 cent if you order them in bulk, and they're like $1 if you buy them at Office Max. So it's literally 100 times more expensive if you don't order ahead of time. Obviously, a huge issue is space. So I'm currently in a Ready Spaces, which is interesting because it can grow as large or as little as you need. So when I move into my new warehouse, I'm actually still going to use Ready Spaces as any type of overflow that I need in case there's a giant order of a really good deal. Another thing people have been asking me is, what do you do if you have too much stuff and a good deal comes along? It depends on how much space you have, and it depends on if it's worth it to store it, and it depends on if it's going to expire. So I bought a whole bunch of leggings and some cosmetics, and cosmetics do have an expiration date, but the ones that I got They don't expire for 2 more years, so I have some time to sell it. I would like to sell all the liquidation of these cosmetics within 8 months. It's going to take a while, but that's well within the 2-year time frame, and lots of people are going to be able to use it by then. But space, timing, expiration, all new problems when it comes to reselling. Equipment, I have 3 pallet jacks. I have a 3-way pallet jack, which means it can go underneath a pallet that's turned on its side like that. And all of these different things I have learned from unloading trucks by myself. And this kind of pallet jack, which is just your standard one, cannot go under this one sideways. So I have both kinds of pallet jacks. Equipment can be expensive. You need to take care of equipment. So all the maintenance required, oiling, I've learned about all of that because I've actually had one of these wear out already. So like equipment, also a crazy thing. I now have 2 forklifts. So all the maintenance required with that. I have to install electric charger for those. One of them uses high voltage power. One of them uses just a regular DC you plug into the wall. So learn about all of that. Equipment like racks is all really expensive as well. And I like to buy everything food safe because dust doesn't collect on them. So all of my racks, I mean, I probably have $50,000 worth of racks easily in my warehouse. So much money on just the shelving system. So all this stuff is now documented in my list of supplies and things to replace. I actually think I may never have to replace these shelves, and when I resell them in the future one day, if I'm not reselling anymore, they're going to be worth at least half of what I paid for them, because shelves are shelves. They're just kind of like weight sets. They're sort of worth the weight that they are, no matter how old they are. Okay, so shrink wrap is also something that I wonder if I can hold on one second, guys. All right, so that was able to turn. In my new warehouse, we have actual switches, so I don't need to deal with this motion sensor nonsense. Pallets are really interesting. This is packed way too high for the weight, and there's one of the reasons why most of these tipped over. So like, there's so much complication with working with suppliers. You need the person who sells you the stuff to know what they actually have, and the sheet that they send is never right. So all this stuff that's in here, some of the stuff's not on the manifest, so it's extra stuff, and a lot of the stuff is missing. So it's like, you really actually need to count every single thing that comes into your warehouse, which is literally a massive expense, having to count every single piece that comes in. Plastic wrap actually gets pretty expensive. I don't have a machine that manually wraps the pallets, but it kind of makes sense for me to get one of those because we wrap several pallets a day, and it takes like 10 minutes, and I'm paying my workers $35 an hour or more, so it costs like $4 to manually pack one, and I'm doing 20 of those a day. However many, it ends up being cheaper to just have a machine that you push a button over the course of a year. But the expense of wrap, the time of doing it, also the wrap is a safety hazard if it gets caught on things like the forklift. And the forklift scares me because it's the only thing at my job really that you could die from. If the forklift falls on you, you're in deep trouble. So really important, safety first here. Up here, you can see that you can see a pallet that actually fell apart that they haven't had time to put back together again. So you can see how disastrous these were. This right here, this pallet literally broke. It like shattered because of the weight. So like, you know, it is what it is. This is like classic. When they load boxes like this and the boxes at the bottom are too small to handle the weight, everything tips. My supply comes from all over the United States. This stuff right here is from the East Coast. So going by rail on the truck from the East Coast all the way over here, if it's packed like this, it's pretty much guaranteed to be ruined. I even knew that my workers would have to deal with this yesterday, so they got paid essentially double pay yesterday. And I actually made the trucking company pay for it, and they paid for it. It's just interesting because like it can come like this or it could come like this, and it really depends on how it's packed. But you can see this breaking down in the middle just from shaking. Somehow this one stayed together, but when it's packed like this where it's super, super, super heavy, what they really should have done is just cut the pallet in half and sent 2 trucks, because I understand the difference in cost and it really depends how far you're shipping, but like this is so unsafe having it be this heavy, packed this thinly. Like look, this is crazy. It has 1 layer of wrap for something that weighs 2,500 pounds. That's so ridiculous. That's like That's like what you would use to pack one pair of shoes. So I don't know how they used it for that. Packaging is interesting because the way that they pack these, sometimes when you open them, you can damage the product. Also very important that when you're shipping something to the customers, you figure out a way to avoid that. Really good suppliers will put a piece of cardboard underneath the lid. So when you cut into it, you cut into the cardboard and not into the product. Another pro tip for when you're sending big packages. Another crazy problem that I'm gonna have is about 50% of this stuff is glass. Okay, so that's wild. That means I have to invest in bubble wrap. Glass is a more premium cosmetic product, but it costs so much more to handle. It costs more to make, it costs more to wrap, it costs more to ship. I might have to insure some of these packages. Also, moving into the new space, I will not have neighbors. So I will not have to hear people doing forklifts and building stuff all day. I feel like I'm actually a really good tenant because we don't really make any noise other than talking. And if you talk, you're gonna get numerous noise complaints because I've gotten probably 16 or 17 noise complaints from the people in my current warehouse in Oakland because we are streaming nonstop all day. So the curfew at the building is 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. We literally start streaming at 7:01 and we stop at 9:59. So we're just maximizing the rule, and it's crazy because other people are like, can't you just work 9 to 5? And I'm like, no, I'm paying for the space regardless. Every second that it can be working and earning money, I want it to be open and earning money. Otherwise, I'm not maximizing that space. I have solved most of those problems by just getting the people who are complaining about noise really nice gifts. So I do think that the squeaky wheel gets the oil, is that the word? So essentially, what you do is you make sure that the people who are not having a good experience, you do what you can to help them. On the ground here, you can see that this looks like either conditioner or shampoo that exploded. And this is the jar that came. So like, now I have more janitorial stuff to deal with. This is probably hand cream. Let me take a picture of this. So with every single load that comes in, there's a plus minus 5% defect rate. So like, this is 100,000 units, up to 500 of them can be messed up and it's just considered normal. So pretty crazy. It never really hits the 5% rule, over or under. But like, this is something that happens and like nobody that works for me took care of this. So this is my problem. So I feel like when you are the owner of a company, you are the janitor, right? I currently don't have any janitorial services because normally I sell clothing and I don't have a big puddle of conditioner on the ground. The way I have this organized right now, because this is temporary space, is just all one level. But at my new space, I actually have pallet racking and I can go all the way up to 17 feet in the ceiling, which presents all new safety risks, all new safety procedures. It does save space though, because if I can go 2 or 3 units high, I just doubled or tripled my space, which is something that's worth investigating. So if you guys are sitting at home right now saying, oh, none of this applies to me, it does. Every time you want to figure something out, I think it can take between 15 minutes and 4 hours to figure out. And that's basically what I've been doing with my time this entire 2024 is training people and working with people on these little things that can make the process more streamlined. So I think it's really important when you are planning to think about what can go wrong, but thinking about what can go wrong really ensures that 99.9% of things go right. I would guess that here, I'm probably within 99.97 is what I would guess is probably my accuracy and problems that happen here. Not that many, but because we process 1,000 orders a day, that's 3 problems a day, right? So 3 problems on 1,000 orders a day might sound like a small percentage, but 30 problems times 3 days is 99 problems, just like the video said. So 99 problems because of just 3 problems a day. Right? It's so easy to have 3 problems a day. One little thing is wrong, one little person doesn't do what they're supposed to do. It can easily have a huge problem that's more than 3 out of 1,000 per day. And that's literally 99 problems per month. So really, really important to try to keep defects as close to 0 as possible. If you are at home, right? 1,000 items sold over the course of a year and 3 problems, those problems are spread out months apart. Not really a big deal. But when you're here, if I have an error, it compounds so fast. So I just want you guys to pay attention. I feel like Sometimes people feel like the advice I give them doesn't apply to them, but I really think it does. It's just that I'm giving you advice that works on a larger level. It'll definitely still work at a smaller level because attention to detail, making sure that every single thing is in the place it's supposed to be, and taking care of defects as soon as possible. Like this pile of shampoo over here, if I don't clean it up and somebody falls, now it's much, much, much worse. So you got to take care of problems right when they happen. And despite all of this, I'm in a fantastic mood, doing what I love doing, which is trying to solve problems. I'm going to leave you with one more note before I leave, which is I want to reframe selling, and I want to call it helping. When I am buying all this stuff from people, I am helping them with a problem that they have, which is not enough space or inventory that doesn't sell. When I'm selling my products to a customer, I'm helping them find something they want at a really good deal. I'm trying to create a TJ Maxx experience online. So when people ask me, what do? I say, hey, I sell past season stuff online, kind of like TJ Maxx does in person. Because I don't want to complicate it so people can't understand. I'm helping that person understand what I do. So I appreciate you guys. You could really help me by smashing the like button. Consider subscribing. Check out my content at dailyrefinement.com. Take care.